new SLO-based Mirante system from Nidec is one of the best SLO OCT-based systems that I've come across. We have at Retina Foundation have been using the SLO-based systems for almost 2 decades now, and this is one of the best that I've seen so far. The beauty of SLO-based systems is that they work on laser beams and not the white light, and so it's easy for us to capture these images without bothering the patients with bright light which goes into their eyes. It's easy for them to cooperate because the laser beams are going in. A small pupil can capture very wide images without a bothersome white light which comes in. So these systems are very easy to use and give us very good quality images. This is an integrated multimodal system which can capture a lot of variety of images and uses 4 lasers to integrate and capture a variety of images. Now, what is the best part of this is the color images. Now, the laser-based systems don't give true color, they are artificial colors, but the colors which come out of the Mirante images are as close to the normal color, the reddish orangish hue of fundus which we are used to seeing with the white light based cameras. All the other SLO-based systems have artificial hues and they don't look as natural. Moreover, the wide capture of these images give us a variety of areas in the periphery, the degeneration, the lattice degeneration, a lot of lesions in the periphery which are captured very well using this artificial based pseudo-color system. It uses 4 laser beams to produce these images, but for the color pictures it uses 3 lasers to integrate it into the colors that we get to see with the images. We have been using this to capture a lot of interesting images since we've gotten the Mirante. The Retina Image Bank, which is a prestigious collection of images from all over the world, we've had multiple images of the week since we've been submitting the Mirante images. In fact, today one of our images is selected among 11 finalists for the Image of the Year. It will get selected at the annual meeting of the ASRS in October this year. So it's been interesting getting a variety of these images, and it's been a great pleasure using it in various platforms academically, as well as for, of course, our diagnostics and managing the patients over the time period. One of our award-winning images is also on the IGO cover of January this year. The most important feature of using these multimodal SLO-based systems is to get great pictures with fluorescein and ICG angiography, and for that, this is a great system. We get brilliant captures from using simultaneous fluorescein and ICG, or one can get dedicated fluorescein and ICG windows. Also a live feed in the early phase with which we can get excellent captures of the early phase of various conditions such as IPCVs or feeder vessels, which help us identify the hot spots and then we can align the treatment accordingly. Also cases of VKH, uveitis where we want to see activity, as well as the results of any treatment given, how the lesions are resoluting over a period of time. All those are captured very well with this modality of fluorescein and ICG. Along with autofluorescence, we can get to know the activity of various lesions. The multimodal ability allows us to shift from one mode to the other as we like in a patient. As soon as we realize that, okay, we need one more modality to complement our diagnosis, we switch to that, whether it's an OCT, FA, ICG, autofluorescence, infrared. You can jump from one to the next and confirm your findings or complement them all the time. The wide field captures of fluorescein angiography also allows us to see any lesions, NVEs, capillary non-perfusion in diabetic cases, those which have been lasered in the past and have come with recurrent bleeds, and we want to know where is the source of leak, or vasculitis, or any other peripheral condition where we want to see. This is able to capture some brilliant images using almost a 163-degree field with the ultra-wide field adapter that we can use. So, and after that we can ask the patient to move towards the left, right, up and down to still create a bigger montage, a wider montage to locate almost every area which is there in the periphery and then align the treatment in a customized manner accordingly. Apart from this, the OCT itself is a great advantage. In this, you can take an OCT of almost up to a 16.5 mm length, which allows us to look at almost the nasal half of the disc, from the disc towards the peripapillary area, and then the whole of macula and beyond, almost in a single scan that is taken through. So it is excellent to capture the long scan and know the whole interface simultaneously in terms of a lot of conditions. The OCT in myopic eyes, high myopic eyes, which in many other OCT systems we find it difficult to capture. With this, we are able to get excellent images of the myopic eyes, the staphylomatous eyes, of the macula, and get a reasonable picture where we can diagnose if there is a schisis or if there is a leak or if there is a hemorrhage in these eyes, which otherwise becomes difficult with many other systems. The vitreoretinal interface is also captured very well with this. The cells seen just over the surface of retina in uveitis or active uveitis, posterior uveitis, are seen in a very good manner with this interface examination. And once we treat these patients, we can confirm that these cells have cleared up, and hence we know that the treatment is working. So it's excellent for myopic eyes, interface related issues, cells, inflammation, and all this is possible due to the high resolution of the scans that we get and the long scans that we can get to see the entire area simultaneously of about 16.5 millimeter. The OCT angiography is particularly useful to look at the FAZ and also to look at networks which are active or inactive in cases of AMD as well as suspect AMDs, where we are trying to confirm if there is activity or not, so that whether we should continue with injections in these patients or not, or we should stop them. So it's a very nice non-invasive way of testing these patients without having to inject the dye of fluorescein in these variety of cases. Moreover, it also has a feature of the retro mode, which earlier Nidec had with a dedicated machine, and now it's available as a part of the multimodal imaging within the Mirante itself. It is able to capture undulations or deeper choroidal lesions, especially like drusen's or pigment epithelial detachments, and picks up these lesions and gives very interesting lunar-like images, which can be an additional way of imaging the same condition apart from the regular ways that we image them using angiographies or autofluorescence or OCTs or color photos. So retro mode is almost like a bonus feature which comes with this to additionally document your images in a different way than the regular stuff. I would like to congratulate Nidec at having made such an amazing tool with which we can take images in multiple modalities, multiple ways that we can document a condition or diagnose or treat patients. Very user friendly for the patient because there's no white light disturbing them. We can take all sorts of images in a quick manner, document them, and also use it academically on various platforms. So it's been a great journey to use the Mirante so far. It's changed the way that we image patients in our clinic and has cut short the per patient time that we spend on imaging each patient for various conditions. I would also like to thank KLB for the support that they give us while maintaining this amazing machine, and we look forward to working with this in the future and look at all the future developments that come with it to improvise this as we go along. Thank you very much.